You're listening to the LouCity and Racing Players Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of Tea Time with T and Kiwi. We have a very special guest with us today here, Mr. George Davis Cuatro, right?
Fourth, yes.
That's fourth for my non-Spanish people, as the news would say. So, welcome, G. How you doing?
Good, man. Appreciate you guys having me. As I said, humbled to be invited onto the show.
Well, if you guys don't know, George has been big timing us for about 3 weeks now. So we finally got him on the show. He's a big man now. No, George.
No. No. Different seat, right? As you guys are the big players now, right? Kids don't run up to me anymore like they run up to you guys.
Run up to you.
They still run up.
We run up to you.
Yeah,
we run up to you.
There you go.
And
I
we've
appreciate
seen it. So no, we're happy to have you here, man.
Yeah.
So, well, kind of get started.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess we can start with who you are, how your career took off, and how you ended up in Louisville.
Yeah. So George Davis the fourth, grew up in Lima, Ohio. Traveled a lot, family from all over the country. So was fortunate to see a lot of different places, and went to UK, graduated from UK, played soccer there, and
Wildcats.
Yeah, Wildcats. Go Blue.
Not a Louisville Cardinal guy?
Nah, I mean, no. But I support the Cards. I've been in Louisville for a while now, so you know.
Did you play against Paulo and?
I did.
Dylan.
Yeah, so I think I played against him 1 year. Yeah, there was only one U of L UK game when me and Paulo crossed paths. Good players, good team that year. So, but yeah, man, I actually was gonna stop playing. After my college career, I didn't have the storied, MLS draft pathway for me. So I was thinking about NBA, I was thinking about law school, and I got an opportunity to go play for the Dayton Dutch Lions, which was like a new club in Dayton. Family in Ohio. I had a friend reach out and was like, "Hey man, you gotta go try out. Like, you're good enough to play, right?" And my roommate at the time, he just got drafted to DC United. So I knew I was near the level. But it just wasn't in my cards at the time. So I took the opportunity. They offered me a contract, and I played that first year, and it led to an 11-year career. So
nice.
I took it and ran with it. I was humbled in college, so it kind of created this work ethic and kind of sense of you can't tell me no attitude. So I started off in Dayton, went to LA for 2 years. Played in Orlando City, where I played with James O'Connor.
As a player?
As a player, yeah. It was, I know a lot. I know why James is the way James is, right? So it's really cool to see him in the seat today because he was the same way as a player, right? So, yeah, that was 2012. And then I went to Richmond, Virginia. Had some really good years there. Yeah, probably my best season there, 2014. Had some MLS looks, and contractually it never worked out. But that's besides the point. Things happen for a reason. Played with Brian Ownby there.
And then he had hair still.
When he had hair, yeah. So I've known Brian for a while. Played with Brian for a while, so it's cool to see his evolution too, right? And especially for all the things that he's done here at the club. But yeah, so after my contract ended in Richmond, James gave me a shout, and he's like, "Hey, I want you to come to Louisville." And one thing I knew about James was that he was going to build a good culture and that he wanted to win.
Yeah.
And at that point in my career, it was like, all right, the MLS might not be in my cards anymore. I was getting older, 26, 27, which is a lot of the reasons probably why I didn't crack in, when I started to get to the scene. And then, so I came here, and it was just like, we won, we won games. It was hard. I know, Paulo and I were talking about preseasons, but you got to embrace that. Right. And
Absolutely.
So we did, man. We embraced that. Year one for me was 2016, year two for the club. And we lost in a penalty shootout to Red Bulls. And
they had a squad.
They had a squad like Aaron Long, Tyler Adams, a lot of guys that have now played in World Cups, right? Derek Etienne was on that team. So really good team. But I told my brother in the hotel after that game, I said, we're going to win a championship next year. Like, no chance anybody knocks us off, and we did. 17, 18, we won it. And yeah, so, in this role that I've had in Louisville City since I came here, I think James brought me in here with the idea of being a leader. And he built, it's funny because I was like one of the older players on the team at the time, and I was 26, 27. And yeah, so we did that, man. We won, and it led to more leadership roles, leadership opportunities. And, fast forward 21, I stopped playing and moved right into the foundation. And here I am. Now I get to support you boys from the seats and the suites, man. And it's cool to see.
Seats and the suites. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. So.
How many championships did you win? 2?
2. So won the regular season championship with Orlando in 2012, but that was kind of a loan spell for me. So I really didn't start the season with Orlando. So it was like one of those things, like I felt like I was a part of it, but I didn't
fully
have that full experience, right? And you talk about whenever you win things, I say this all the time, and you'll hear this from a lot of players, as you guys know, like you build relationships and meaningful relationship with guys that you win with, guys that you work hard and go through trials and tribulations with, and you could tell that these groups have a bond that's created, especially when you win things. And so I was definitely a part of it in 2012, but I wasn't, in that like I was in 2017 and 18. So won 2 USL championships here, 3 conference championships, and some good Open Cup runs. So a lot of success. It's really cool to see the trophies in that Fifth Third Club, when you walk in and you see all the hard work that's gone into it and all the stories and all that good stuff. So it's special, man.
But
it's
not
special.
even that, because you see the trophies, but you guys were at Slugger Field and all that stuff. Now you get to see the stadium and the facilities and everything. So you were there when everything started, and you got to see a transition, right?
Yeah, and you could feel it though, right? Like even in Slugger, the bad part about it was the turf, but the environment was great. Like the fan support, the way the stadium was set up, the way the game days, the excitement, the tunnels, it was a good feeling playing in that stadium. Obviously nobody wanted to play on the slick turf, they call it the turf monster, and it was not good.
You ever played it?
No, I never played it. Slugger, yeah, so you did. It's probably a good thing. I'd see that. But yeah, it was a good environment, right? And then the pitch was small too. Like it was a good size for a baseball stadium, but it was short. They tried to keep the width, and so yeah, we were a pressing team. We used to press the life out of people, and they hated it, and they couldn't play. And then when we got the ball, we could play, right? And so we adapted to it. So we definitely had home field advantage, and definitely helped us. But to see where we're at today, to see the stadium, to see the amount of supporters that we have around the city, the magnets on the cars, the academy, the foundation, it's pretty special. Last night, seeing Eintracht Frankfurt, and what they have to say about the facilities and comparable to theirs in Germany and European football. So, I was speaking to a colleague, and it's like, I don't know that everybody realizes what we have here.
Yeah.
And hopefully as time goes on, people will start to see it and see how valuable this has been and will continue to be for not just the footballers in the city, but for the whole community,
No, it's growing. I was talking to one of the players after the game, French guy, and he was like, these facilities are top class, especially for second division. Like, they were like, we had no idea this was here in the country, Louisville, second division. It's like, this is amazing. We had like an amazing week. Everybody was super friendly and everything. So it was really cool to hear that and all that. So they were world class too. Good too.
Good team, man.
Good team.
Great team.
Really good, yeah. And being able to watch them train, right? And, we know what it's like to be in the middle of it. And there's a level of appreciation that you have, and we were talking about how the small-sided and how crisp everybody was and tidy, and the pace and the speed at which they play. So especially for the younger players that got to experience that, that's something that kind of opens your eyes, right?
Yeah.
And opens the doors. So, but on top of that, right, you talk about the staff they travel with, through the foundation, they did a coaching education clinic. So they, Nikolai Adam, who was their director of international affairs, and he coaches all over the world, and he's coached youth national teams. His CV is unbelievable. And he was willing to give his time to our local coaches here in the community, high school coaches, middle school coaches, our academy coaches, recreational, and just to hear the simplicity in which he talks about the game, it was a lesson for me, right? Because, you play at this pro level, you go through these coaching courses and you think you got to know all these tactics and all these different intricacies of the game. And in reality, it's really trying to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Right? What are we here for? To have fun, right? And work hard and make sure we have intensity to training every day.
Yeah.
And these very basic concepts. And you can see it with those guys. They play at the highest level in the world and still they're being preached to the simple things, So it was really cool experience. Our West Louisville soccer kids got to experience. They all got the kit and all that. So hopefully they're still Louisville City fans. But
they're the ones that we walked out with.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
that's awesome.
Having a great time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So
Cool experience.
Ron?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Next question.
Next question.
That was a great start. I'll be honest with you.
Good start.
Good
Love
start.
Come on.
Good start. All right. We knocked out like 3 questions there, George.
There you go.
What was your favorite moment in your playing career?
Favorite moment in my playing career.
Particular game, maybe? I know, obviously, lifting trophies, like you said, but
Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody remembers the lifting of the trophies and those key moments, right? But probably the favorite moment for me was when my birthday, August 5th, 2018, my nephew, my mom, my brothers came to town. And my little nephew, he was like 4 years old at the time, 3 years old at the time. And he walked out onto the field with me, ended up bagging a brace. And then after the game, you get to go and then hang out with family. And we all know, like, so many games we play where, your family's watching from afar, and since that day, my nephew probably knows more about the club than I do. He knows all the players, like it's pretty cool to see. So I think about that moment in the sense of what type of passion for the game that created for him. Similar to the players that got to experience the Frankfurt stuff, right?
Yeah.
They opened their eyes. They got to come into the stadium, walk out on the field with the players, and then it kind of ignites something in them. And so now looking at my nephew today, how passionate he is about the game. Still got a lot of work to do, but it's cool
it's a
that
process.
Yeah, it's a process, But it's cool that moment for me as a player had an influence on him, and I bagged some good goals too.
Yeah.
So
Brace for the nephew.
yeah, it's good.
George
so.
is the greatest forward ever.
Funny story, man. He actually, like, who's your favorite player? He wouldn't say me. He would say other players like Cam or Brian or these guys. And I love that. You know what I mean? Because those are my friends. So it's like, all right, he's your favorite player. Come on, let's go.
Yeah,
let's go in the locker room. Yeah, And then he's telling Brian Ownby about himself, and it's like, oh, that's even better, right?
So obviously, I actually thought you might have said this moment, or like moments, I guess. 2018 happens.
Listen, let me tell you this right now. This 2018.
No, it's not about the final, bro.
I'm not talking about
It's not about the final.
I'm
it's not-
asking that question.
You set yourself
right
up for
now.
this.
It's not. I tell you, I wasn't even going there. I know it's a real sensitive topic for you. I really wasn't going there. I promise you.
It was the last time we're talking about it. Enjoy
Okay.
it.
2018, November.
When I was running at
against
T the
T.
whole
Whoa.
game.
Do we want to talk about this Meg, by the way?
You have to get the ball back to call it a Meg there.
I
T.
touched it
Yeah.
before you found it.
That's fair.
I touched it before you found it.
Yeah, I will say before you ask your question though, man, it's cool to have those moments, right? I didn't know T from anybody, right, other than what I saw of him on the film, but it's like this bond is created almost, like during the game, you dap him up. It's like, all right, I respect this guy. He respects me, and then years later, you come to the club and it's like, I know you. You know what I mean? So like that's what football can do, man. It's a really cool.
You want to see something funny?
Yeah.
You know this photo I'm going to pull out?
With the RGB one.
Yeah. This is 2019. Me and T.
There you go.
Realize
now
it.
look at you. You guys are like
I didn't
brothers.
realize it.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. I'll ask you this question while I figure this out.
All right.
18.
18.
Right? Yeah, that's right. Coaching change happens.
Yeah.
We no coach at the club.
Yeah.
You.
Well, we had 3 coaches. Yeah.
And Paulo still in. How did that come about? Why did they pick you? And what was that like?
Good question. What was it like? You walk into the locker room in the morning and you're getting ready for training, and you feel the energy in the locker
Yeah.
room, right? And everybody has their habits and routines, and James is a very process-oriented guy, right? So, like, stick to the process. At this time, we chat. At this time, everything. And so we're kind of waiting for pre-training meeting, and it's like 5 minutes go by, 10 minutes go by, and owners were in the locker room. So we're all looking at each other like, yeah, okay, something's happening,
Something.
you know? And, a stand-up thing from the ownership, from James, and, James got an opportunity. And, he got an opportunity to go coach at the highest level in the U.S. For a club that he played for. Every player in that locker room was excited for James, excited for him. But then he took his whole staff with him. As you do, So, I remember they called us into they called us three into the coach's office, and they were like, obviously, we're going to need to find a coach. And John in particular was like, yeah, we're not going to rush. Like, we're not going to rush to just hire someone. We want to make sure we hire the right person. And so we're like, looking, they're like, yeah, like, do you guys think you can handle it? Do you guys think you can manage the team? And I think what I asked was like, is this a question, or like, are you telling us that we're going to be managing the team, And it was a bit of both, but it was humbling for me because you put yourself, like, I think with us, it's like you lead by action, right? And so what the expectation is in the locker room, and you do everything in your power to try to maintain that expectation and then push the other players to meet that. So when new players came in the locker room, it didn't have to come from the coaching staff on what was required or what the expectation was. That came from us, right? And Paulo was the captain. Luke was a natural leader. I was a natural leader. So we just did that, because we thought that's what the staff wanted. We thought that was what was required for us to be successful. Little did we know that that's being viewed in a different light from others, right? And I think a lot of us as professionals, and not just professionals in football, but professionals in life, is you don't realize who's watching you all the time. You don't realize how your actions affect other people. You don't realize how your decisions affect other people. And that was an eye-opening moment for me, because I thought I was just doing what I was supposed to be doing. And in turn, it granted me an opportunity to sit in a seat where I got to learn so much about myself, about the team, about what management is, what it is to be a coach. We would come into the office early. We stay after, we would break up games. All right, you go watch 2 games, you go watch 2 games, I watch 2 games. And then we come and compare notes. Do they play the same? What's the system, right? So building a session, right? And then the hardest part of all that is you got these guys in the locker room that are your friends, same age, teammates. And you got to tell them, hey, man, you're not playing this weekend. Or, hey, you got to go sit in the stands. Or, hey, we made a decision that you're not going to start this week, and things like that. And so that was the most difficult thing, right? I remember the first trip. We were in Tampa, and we're in the room, and we're talking about the team, and we're talking about all the tactics, and we got the presentation ready and all this, And so we're about to send it out, right, to the group. Like, we're going to send out, this is the team, this is the reserves, this is the plan. And Luke's like, hey, man, will you guys stay up here with me? Like, you guys sit in the room with me? Because, like, I'm nervous, man. Like, I don't really want to send this out. Like, I don't really want to be by myself and send this out. You know what I mean? And so you don't think about that, right? I mean, all of us have been critical of our coaches in the past. Yeah. But until you got to make that decision, and then the why, like, why are you going to start this guy and not that guy, right? When all year long you've been talking about how good this guy is, or, that's your boy, and you tell him, hey, you should be playing, right? Now it's in your hands, you're not playing, you know what I mean? So come down for breakfast. Luke's sitting by himself eating breakfast. None of the guys are eating. He's at
the coach's table.
He's at the coach's table. You know what I mean? So, but no, man, it took a lot, right? And my first training session, I was terrible. I was in shambles because I'm sitting here thinking about the session. I'm thinking about I got to evaluate. I've been up all night. I've been like trying to build, make sure that the guys trust me and still respect me. But then I got to do a job. Like, I still have to play, you still have to perform. And that was the hardest part. So as much fun as I had throughout the whole process, as much as we learned, the camaraderie between that group was insane because of that, right? Like, you can't just give all the credit to me, Paulo, and Luke, right? Because that would never have happened if the guys in the locker room weren't bought in, weren't tight with us, didn't support us. They supported us.
And
you know what I mean?
respected you guys
And
enough
respect us.
to respect you guys' decision.
Yeah.
You guys are like really close and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And we know guys didn't agree with all of the decisions we made, right? That's normal. That's natural, right? I remember we sat down with each guy. We sat down with each player individually and was like, hey, man, talk to us. Like, what is it that James did that you liked? What did he didn't that you didn't like? What should we change? What should we keep the same? And like really tried to get an idea of how players are feeling. Some guys are like, oh, man, I'm cool. Like, I have nothing to say. Other guys came with like notebooks and are like, we should play this system and I want to play here and this. And, so you're like, all right, we got to consider that, you know what I mean? But so it was eye opening. But I always say credit to Luke, credit to Paulo for that moment and stepping up in that moment. But the guys in the locker room, man, I mean, that's not easy to do. And I try to put myself in that position, right? Like I was in a position of leadership, but the other guys, like, it's tough, man. Am I going to listen to this guy that I was just competing for a position with?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So credit to all the guys in that locker room.
So once you got to experience that, did you ever think, okay, I want to become a coach, or nah, I'm definitely not doing this? Or did it ever cross your mind at all?
It definitely crossed my mind.
Yeah.
And ironically, it probably made me want to be a coach more than it didn't. But coaching for me, I wanted to get outside the locker room. You know what I mean? Like that lifestyle of being a player. And when you do well, it's like next phase. When you do poorly, next phase. The uncertainty sometimes, the demand that people take for granted. Like, okay, yeah, I'm off work technically by 1 or 2 o'clock every day, but I don't got PTO. I'm not taking summer vacations, like there's a huge demand. And then when you're on a successful team, you're playing 10 months out of the year, So like that demand and the lifestyle, I think, is more an influence on me in terms of how I wanted to pursue the next phase of my career.
Live your life.
And how I want to live life, and I love coaching. I love the game, right? It's something special about having an influence, a positive influence on a player, and that's special. So I think it made me want to be a coach more. But there's also other areas and other endeavors that I wanted to pursue outside of coaching. But we'll see. Maybe I'll end up on the sideline sometime in the near future. Yeah.
Yell at us somewhere. Get on the line. Run some fitness.
Yeah, my team would be fit.
So this leads me to my next question. How did you get into the foundation and transition into that? And how was that process, transitioning from soccer into post-soccer career?
Yeah. So first, credit to the club for putting their faith in me, and trusting me, right? It's not easy going from the field to the office, as they would say. So coming out of my last season, I knew that, okay, I'm reaching my limit, mentally, physically. I was ready to pursue other endeavors, right? I could feel myself thinking about things off the field rather than where my focus used to be. It was completely on performance, right? So my role in the locker room changed. I started doing some operations, some administration stuff. I joined the technical staff still while I was a player. So I wanted to get insight into how does this thing operate, right? What's the next phase going to look like? And is this something that I want to do, or is there other spaces that I want to go into? So that year was very positive for me in terms of 2021. Challenging, but very positive in terms of my growth. So coming into 2022, Danny was like, hey, George, we want to keep you on the staff. You know what I mean? Like we feel like you're valuable to our team and especially with the younger players and kind of being that mentor. And, obviously the strong point of the club has been the culture. And so, with Paulo and Niall and Ombi and Tosh and a lot of these guys that were around, Danny wanted to make sure that culture stayed. So credit to him. He kept me in the staff, and the foundation started in April of 2022. So there was a 4-month period where the club really, really had my back, and they kept me on a salary and allowed me to stay in the club and with the idea that, hey, we want you to lead our foundation from a program side. So the foundation was formalized in 2020, but the work actually started in 2022. So hired an executive director, And his role was really on development, right?
Was that because of COVID, or was that just it just takes a long time to start setting?
I think it was affected by COVID. COVID definitely pushed it back. You know what I mean? And then there's some things that needed to happen, right? So in that 2-year period, right, they were building a board, right?
Gotcha.
You have to define your mission, define your values, define how you want to deliver. You know, from a nonprofit perspective, there's some organizations that just write checks. And then there's some organizations like ours that are really like feet on the ground, hands-on, delivering the programs, delivering the service, working with the youth on an intimate level, building relationships. And at the time, the ownership group of Soccer Holdings, and they hired a consultant and really dug in and then spent some time to say, okay, what do we want this to be? So when I came on board, it was all decided, right? This is the mission, this is the vision, this is where we see this going. And so they hired the executive director. They brought me on right away as a program director, and we just hit the ground running, you know, a 2-man team. And he raised the money, and I was, you know, focused on building the program. Yeah. So, you know, that first summer we got a grant from Metro Louisville, and it was for a program, man. And so I put together this program that would be able to use the pitch model and the value model and teach kids soccer, but more importantly, teach them how to be good people, right? Like build a value base, and what's character, what is humility, are you accountable, right? Are you intellectually engaged? Can I trust you, right? Are you committed, right? All those things are more important, and you can apply those to any walks of life. So it doesn't matter if it's in your home, in your school, in your sport. So that was always the focus for me. So we did that, man. And then, you know, 2 or 3 years later, we're, you know, servicing 2,000 plus kids and built programs that have serviced nonprofits all over the city and run clinics and built partnerships and raised money and, you know, hosted events and different things like that. So it really took off fast. And for me, it was, you know, now I'm answering emails. Now I have a responsibility to set up meetings and, you know, but it's more like a 8 to 8. Yeah. But
never stopped.
but yeah, right. Like it was a different responsibility. So it wasn't a physical demand, you know, I mean, I was still but it was definitely a different challenge. And the beauty of that was I still got to go kick soccer balls around. You know, I still got to get with the kids and play, teach them skills. They still, at the time, they knew me as a player. They're kind of fading away. No, you played. Like, but I still had that kind of brand identity in terms of being a player. So as an ambassador of the club, it was easy for me to say, hey, I live this life, right? I played football. I did it professionally. You should listen to me. I know what I'm talking about, right? And that was huge, not just in building community partners, but also in working with the youth. So fast forward to this year, and I've stepped up as the executive director, right? So the former executive director took another role and another organization, and credit to him, he did an unbelievable job to kind of build our foundation, and now the responsibility on me is to step into a different seat, right? So now it's not so much being on the ground and kicking soccer balls, although I can't get away from it. But now my responsibility is to be a leader, a true leader in that, right? And be an executive and learn how to delegate and learn how to make sure that the ship is flowing in the right direction. And I learn something new every day, you know, and I tell people all the time is one thing, the things that you can't teach, like hard work and humility and being committed and all these different values we talk about, I had that from being a player. So now it's just the skill sets, like, you know, learning how to manage your time and the different demand on your mind, right?
I mean, I've gone to some of those camps you ran and everything, and those kids, they love it. You can tell, like, they get distracted from their regular lives every day, and like for that hour, they're just bought into what you're saying, what you're teaching them, and everything. And I saw actually some of the Africana Americana girls at the game yesterday, and they're so hyped and everything. So it's really cool to see that. So it's awesome, killing it. So, is there anything like to the fans or the players or the staff that are listening to this that they can help with the foundation, like if anything at all?
Absolutely. I mean, we're still a young organization, right? Like we're growing every day. We're learning about ourselves. You know, Louisville has a lot of nonprofits, and there's a lot of people in this city that want to help. And our goal is not just to service Jefferson County, right? We want to touch all parts of the state. We want to help Southern Indiana. We really want to be the driver of opportunity for the entire bi-state region. So, Obviously that costs money. Donations and support from a financial level is huge. But we're also looking for coaches. And we've started to kind of shift some of our focus into coaching education and trying to help others become facilitators of football or soccer and make sure that, hey, I don't have to be there for these young boys and girls to enjoy the game, or Adam doesn't have to be there for young boys and girls to enjoy the game, right? And so coaches, volunteers, we're always looking to build that. And then on the fun side, we have our events. We have our soccer ball coming up September 25th. It's going to be a great event, right? It's fun. You guys get sharp, wear your best kicks.
We're good on kicks again?
Right now, I'm just,
These are the workshop, man.
Yeah. Funny story, though, T. You remember first year, right? I tell the players, like, hey, man, it's a sneaker ball, essentially, right? Like, wear some nice kicks. I'm thinking all the guys are going to put on the J's, the Forces, Balenciagas, whatever you guys are going to wear. And I think it was you and Wes roll up, and they're like, George, man, you guys really have on kicks. Like, you really put on sneakers.
You put on dress shoes.
I had dress shoes.
And I was like, yeah, man.
I thought he was joking.
He thought I was joking. I was like, why would I joke about that, T? Like,
I was seeing some, like, older people, like grandmas and stuff, and some kicks, like some sick. One lady had these ice creams on, and I was like, you can't even get those.
Hey, they came out, man.
Yeah, they
People were sending sneakers to me, like, George, are these good? I'm like, yo, you're going to have the best kicks in the whole event.
Then last year, people really stepped it up, too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to go find me some new
I know, me too, bro. I got to definitely find me some. Nice.
So it's not banter, man. I'm not winding you up. Get fresh, throw on a suit, get some nice kicks.
If you're coming to the soccer ball this year, which you should, it's an amazing time, honestly, make sure you bring your kicks, because you're going to get judged if you don't.
Yeah, make sure they're nice and clean, too.
I won't judge you.
Hey, I got, did you see my suit yesterday, or?
I did. You looking good.
I got judged for that.
Hey, man, you
got
gotta
some
stop.
Stick. I'll be honest with you.
It's hot, man. How you gonna wear a suit?
That's twice today that you're telling me like you're worried about what others think of you, man. I didn't think you were that kind of guy.
No, I'm not.
See, it's gone soft, man.
It's just particular people that can wind me up a little bit.
Yeah.
They said maybe the jacket was too much. Maybe just the pants and the tucked-in shirt.
It was
sounds like
a 92
hater.
degrees yesterday.
I was telling him all I had to do. I was AC in the car, and it was a 20-meter walk into the locker room. I'm fine.
Hey, why are they worried about you sweating under your jacket or not? I don't understand.
I was wearing a t-shirt and I got fined for it.
You can't be wearing.
I was wearing a Louisville City t-shirt and I got fined for it. It's a great t-shirt.
All
right,
that's
a
fine, bro.
All right, what if I wore this foundation shirt? Would I get fined for that too?
That's the fine.
They give those out in the stands.
Like AP's getting fined for this. Like, that's kind of Fred, but still, it's got a logo on it.
I mean,
I'm repping the club. How can I be fined?
I can take it to the court if you think
taking it to court.
Get fined.
I'm taking.
I want to come to this court session.
Friday
court session.
We have a long list of fines from last week.
I tell you, I missed that part. The spinning of the wheel and the court. That's always good banter.
This shit, I got rinsed for a couple.
We got some good ones.
Yeah. But hold on, I don't want to get away from soccer ball. Sorry, let's switch it back. Come to the soccer ball. It's a time. We recognize some of our academy players. We recognize the teams, obviously, the hard work they put in. And it's definitely a supporting event for the foundation. It's our largest fundraising event of the year. We're trying to do a better job of telling people what it is and showing them why we do it and what it's about, right? It's unique. You won't see another event like it in the city. I can promise you that. So yeah, reach out to me for information. I got you. I want everybody there.
No, please do.
No, it's a good
Honestly, every year I look forward to it. It's so much fun. Yeah. First year was fun. Last year was even better. I can't wait for this year.
I do have a question. I got to ask this question on the podcast. No. Yeah. Should we introduce a dance floor?
I say yes. I think even if it's just like a little small one, you have to do it, dude. Because people have so much fun over there.
The J's on.
The J's on everything. People start getting loose. Start getting loose. You got some good music out there. You guys always have good music. So
good music, open bar. I think it would be a hit. Yeah.
I think you
We're
do
gonna look
one.
into it. Maybe a surprise this year.
Maybe it's like
but next year we'll definitely keep that in mind. If people want to get loose a little bit, we might have a little after party maybe. Or a little,
an extra fee though. Extra fee.
We'll let you tell.
Bring the dance floor. I want to see Kyle's moves here.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. Go on.
Really quick.
Oh yeah, this is we have to ask you this question. It's one of my favorite players, Niall. His favorite question.
Okay. Let's see.
I don't know if you've heard it.
I'm a little nervous, but what's up?
So his favorite question to ask anyone new to the team, we have our little like initiation song, stuff like that, is you're in the UFC like octagon.
Okay.
With your bare hands on. It's a normal fight. What is the most dangerous animal that you think you could kill?
Fight to the death.
Fight to the death. And we're not talking about like a giant like great white shark, because obviously they're gonna die out of the water.
Yeah, I was gonna say something aquatic out of
For sure.
Yeah. I think I heard one of these questions.
Yeah,
Like,
take your time.
No,
because,
hang on.
listen, take your time, because as soon as Niall sees you,
Yeah,
he hears your answer. He's for sure gonna.
Who said a bobcat?
That's not.
Niall.
Niall thinks he'd take a bobcat.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, T thinks he'd take a hyena, which I think is also cool.
1,000%. What are you talking about? It's like a big cat.
It's a big
dog, bro. It's like a wolf.
Same thing.
Yeah, I think you guys are very misunderstood on how wild these animals
I sort of cheetah though, so I'm way off it too.
That's worse than the hyena.
All right, let's see. What can I choke out, huh?
So
that's what you're going for.
You can
You're not going
kick,
kicks
you
or
can do
anything?
whatever you want.
No, I mean, you're not going to kill anything with a kick, are you?
No,
I think
man.
you get a few kicks on that head.
Yeah, if you hit them in the right spot. But I'm going to have to go with something like, I don't know.
Do you think like a big moose?
No,
Or is that
way.
charging the hell out of you?
No chance.
Okay.
Those
Will
things
doesn't
weigh
like that answer.
900, like 1,000 pounds. Like,
But I don't know. Is that thing getting after you?
Yes.
Hang on. I said a wild boar. You think you could take?
okay, I think I could take a wild.
That's what I really think.
Yeah. Something with limited mobility.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just jump, dodge a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, something with limited mobility, but we're domesticated.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, these animals,
and how many of us have ever
Killed them.
be in a fight to the death
With anything.
scenario? Yeah. So great question. I wish I had an answer for you, Niz, but I don't see too many, maybe an insect or a bird or something. Like,
Killing ants.
maybe like you know what? Like a wolverine, maybe like a small,
That's an animal?
like,
That's actually an animal?
yeah, wolverine.
Yeah, it's not just
I was thinking of the movie, man. Yeah, okay. All right.
Now they're very
Something every
dangerous
day.
animals, but it's small, so I could get a kick to it.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
Okay.
But
Right
definitely
now-
not a hyena.
Yeah.
Definitely not a bobcat.
One day, maybe we'll be in a situation.
We had the animal experts. I saw in the comments last time. They were roasting you. They were saying those things would destroy you.
You said a cheetah.
Yeah, no, I've taken that back. I fully agree that a cheetah would kill me.
I'm sticking with my hyena. I hope I never try it. I'm sticking with it.
There's some like monkeys or like the smaller.
Yeah, I think
that you could probably get away with. But
chimpanzee kind of
I
thing.
think it's fast.
Although they're strong
And they're fast.
Yeah, they're fast. And
They'll be
strong.
crawling around the cage now on you.
Yeah, that'd be tough, right?
Yeah.
How does he come up with this stuff? That's a Niz question.
It's for sure a Niz
very
question.
Niz question.
It's a good one.
He's for sure gonna ask you about it when he sees you.
I gotta make sure I have an answer next time.
Okay, so this is what we're doing on the podcast with everybody.
Okay.
The Fast 5 questions.
All right.
So first one, favorite player of all time. Like that you not that you've played with, that you've watched, because we had that.
Ronaldo Nazario.
Arnott?
Phenomenal. Yeah.
The Brazilian.
And that's a timing thing for me. Yeah. So I used to wear his cleats. I was trying to score goals like
sick,
yeah.
dude.
And you think about like
Gold
skillful
vapors.
players, man. I mean, this guy was doing double step overs on goalkeepers. You haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah.
Don't
But
really
yeah,
see
he was
that
definitely
anymore.
my favorite player.
I like that. That's a good answer. Favorite Netflix show.
Ooh, Last Dance. I gotta go with.
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
but
Great
in terms of like Not really a TV show guy, but of those I've watched, Ozark is a good one.
Great show.
And I don't know if Breaking Bad is on Netflix,
on
but
there
that's
now.
another good one too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's good choices there. Ozark, great show.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Favorite Louisville restaurant?
That's a good one. Of recent, there's a meal at Senora Arepa that I can't get away from.
Bardstown.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
So, but I'm a big fan of Veronese as well.
Is that the place with like the patio and stuff? Like the
Yeah,
cool
they used
vibe
to
and
be
It just
stuff?
opened, right?
They used to be behind La Bodeguita.
Mhm.
So they had,
Okay.
the yellow Cuban restaurant on
Yeah.
the market.
They moved.
But they opened up their proper restaurant right in St. Matthews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll trust you.
There you go.
Um,
You can't go wrong.
Okay. I'm vegan, bro. I can't go wrong with that.
Oh, okay. I'll take that back. Yeah,
They got beans and rice for me?
they do. They do.
That's all I need. That's all I need, bro.
I didn't know you were vegan.
Yeah.
Kudos to you. 7 years. You feel the difference?
For sure.
It's
Yeah.
It's a part-time.
a
Sounds like-
part-time vegan. It's a part-time vegan because I've witnessed
he's
some.
one of those.
So witness what?
I've witnessed some non-vegan
Like what?
food. I don't know. How about that
Didn't you just put
burger?
milk in your
No,
tea?
burger. No, I didn't put milk in. That's just
Ah.
for tea. No, that's why I was roasting tea for putting milk in there. I was fine.
Okay.
Burger? No, vegan burgers, bro. Come on. I promise you, vegan. I would not try that. But if it was fish, maybe I might dabble.
So you're a vegan that eats fish?
Yeah, so it's like pescatarian.
Yeah, he's part-time.
Part-time.
Part-time. He chooses.
I
when
tell
he's
you
vegan
what, I can't keep up anymore.
I need to go actually. Okay.
Whatever you desire, my
whatever makes
friend.
you happy,
Yeah,
though.
of course. Yeah. I'm not here to judge. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people will judge my outfit the other night.
You're still so upset about it, man.
Yeah, dude, because you're supposed to be my boy. You have my back.
I was happy back, but I'm also your boy, so I gotta tell you the
That's fair.
truth.
That's fair.
If he got
Right?
fined, I can see why he's on your case.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
he gets rattled by the fines
Yeah.
a lot.
because I don't want to pay money.
Come on, man. There's no way you put that shirt on and was like, yeah.
This
man,
is a good idea.
You know why I put it on? Because I saw Paulo wear it the day before. And me and Niz were talking to Paulo like, you know what? That's one of the best shirts we've got. And you know what? I just found it. I was clearing out my closet the other day. I was like, you know what? I just found it. I'm going to wear it tomorrow. Maybe people are going to be like, yeah, this is a nice shirt. You can't wear that, T. This is a terrible shirt. It's free. Blah, 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 blah. I got
That should
roasted.
be.
As soon as I walked into the locker room, I was pissed immediately.
You played well.
I did play
You
well.
played well.
I
yeah.
did play well. So,
So
I'll be-
hey,
I'll
it
be
should
honest.
be a little note on the fine list. No team issued gear
I
for
think it
game
is.
day.
No,
no, there
honest,
is
It's
not.
listed.
There is
No,
not.
You looked?
Yes, I did look.
Ooh,
Because I'm taking my case-
you might have a strong court case
There
then.
you go.
But I think this precedent was set.
Listen,
So
if I lose, I'm telling you right now, I'm finding anyone that wears a T-shirt.
That's gonna be tough. There's a lot of t-shirt goers.
no.
I'll tell you what. Sean Tosh just had his T-shirt come out with
Did
the
he
club,
wear
whatever,
that?
and he wore it. He's getting a fine too if I get fined 1,000%.
T, you might have a
has
good
an
case, but
argument. Yeah, you have.
hey,
a good
I might
case.
vote for you.
Well, there you go.
I might.
I
vote.
can't wait to see Tosh's face when he.
Oh, he's gonna be pissed.
Me?
Me?
You're finding
No.
Kudos to Sean Tosh. man. Love the shirt, my guy. Love the shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my free shirt, Sean.
That's crazy. Yeah, me too.
The whole
Yeah, me
team
too.
is. Yeah,
Me too.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Okay, sorry, we got a track there. It's supposed to be fast five.
Oh,
I
sorry.
think
It's slow five. Yeah, it's all good.
Guilty pleasure.
Golf. 1,000%.
That's my guy. That's my guy. George is a good golfer. He beats me.
You know, there's
George is a good
nothing.
golfer.
I love spending 5 hours outside
With the boys.
with the boys, enjoying it. But every time I finish, I feel like, wow, I just wasted 5 hours.
Wait, I got a question on that.
yeah.
So we had Niall on, and he said the same. It wasn't his guilty pleasure; it was a hobby for him.
Uh-huh.
And then we asked him about the foundation event and how
Uh-huh.
he did. He said he was in the first 11.
So the way,
Whoa.
let me think. I think we had 18 teams.
Okay.
Yeah. So 11's not bad.
Yeah.
So I thought it was cool, right? You go to these tournaments and it's like first, second, third. Everybody knows, right? But credit to James O'Connor. He only wants to win,
Yeah.
right? So in golf, you don't really, well, at the pro level, you get paid, but
Yeah.
it only counts if you win, right? So we thought, hey, let's give some love to someone else, right? And because we're footballers and, it's always a good thing to crack the first 11.
Yeah.
I thought, hey, let's give a courtesy award to the first 11. So, ironically, James and Niles' team got 11th place. Yeah. So, credit to them. Well done. Yeah.
First 11.
That event was fun too.
Yeah, that was
a
good.
time.
That was good.
I'm
man.
golfing next year.
So that's the cool part, right? Is now the guys who couldn't hit the golf ball, now they're like, all right, I gotta learn how to play. So yeah, that was a great event. I mean, I know everybody that participated loved it, and it was a good time. So
Great time.
we'll be doing that again next year. Get your foursome.
Great course too.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, Big Spring, good course.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. 3 dream dinner guests.
A lot could be a lot.
Dead or alive, and they all magically speak English for you.
Oh, English. Oh yeah. I was thinking all my folks speak English.
Just making sure.
Yeah, you got to put that in there, right? Yeah. That's a good one. So let me see about the different levels. From a political space, I would love to sit down with the Obamas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to count that as one.
Okay.
Yeah, the Obamas. Shaq.
That'd be
nice.
Shaq. Ernest Everett Just.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Omega Psi Phi.
Omega Psi Phi.
All right. Just real quick. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the question Paulo and Niall left last time.
Okay.
Favorite player you've ever played with?
I didn't play in a match with him, but DeMarcus Beasley.
What a guy. I love Beasley. What a guy.
The way he played.
What a guy.
Yeah, the way he played, the way his attitude was about the game. I only got to train with him.
Yeah.
But teammate, I'm going to have to go with Devin Speedy Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's a great guy too.
So when he came to the club, he was my roommate in IMG, and I don't think he said more than 2 words. But by the end of his time, by the time, we played together, good guy. And work ethic, quality, the way he approached the game, top class. So
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And then, do you have a question that you want to leave for the next guest? We don't know who it's going to be, but
it can't be the 3 things we don't like about Danny Cruz.
no, it can't be that.
All love to Danny. What is your bucket list adventure?
I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Great question. I'm all for that.
All right. Well, George, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Before Kyle wraps us up, foundation dinner.
September 25th.
Buy
Balt House.
Yeah.
tickets.
Be there.
Buy some tickets.
Yeah, you can reach out to me, gdavis at LouCity.com. You can look at our website, LouCity Racing Foundation.org. And if you know someone in the club, anybody in the club, ask about the soccer ball. They'll point you my direction. I really hope we can see as many people there and make it the best event of the year for all of Louisville.
Sure.
Yeah. So, thanks, guys.
G,
Absolute
appreciate
pleasure.
you, man. Legend.
Thanks, George.
Legend.
Thanks, bro. That's it.
Al?
Yeah, that's it for another episode of Tea Time with T and Kiwi. We'll see you, I guess, on another episode soon.
Thank you for listening to the LouCity and Racing Players Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode.